You can finally cut bigger print and cut projects with your Cricut. Yes, I said that correctly. I'm so excited and I'm so here for it. We are going to be making bigger print and cut projects using our Cricut. We're not having any hacks except for we're going in beta mode. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Hi, I'm Crystal. Welcome to Design Bundle's YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button as well as that notification bell down below so you don't miss any of our crafting tutorials. Before we jump into Cricut Design Space, I wanted to show you the bundle of files that I'm using. I'm using this one right here because we're going to need a file to get started for this project. So we're going to be using this bundle. This is retro summer vibes. It's all over it. It is so cute. I know we're barely getting into spring, but if you're anything like me, I'm ready for spring break. I am ready for warm weather. I want to go on spring break. I want to go on summer. I want to do all of the summer things. So let's start making our summer gear. The design that I'm actually going to use out of this bundle is going to be this beach babe right here. So now let's head on over to Cricut Design Space. Starting off over here in Cricut Design Space, you can do this from that very front page, or you can do it from your canvas. So there's something that you have to do first until Cricut finally releases this. So this is still currently in beta mode, which means they're still testing it and making sure they have everything correctly before they finally release it. So to get access to it early, all you simply have to do is go up here to what they always call the hamburger, these little lines right here. You're going to click on it and you're going to scroll down to where you see settings. So then you're going to click on settings, and then from here you're going to have a screen that looks like this. All you simply have to do is change it to beta. So you can see live mode, which is where everything that's correctly released is ready to go. There's no trial and error with any of those things, which I'm pretty sure the offset is still in beta. It's been in beta for a while. But what you want to do is change it to that beta mode, which is where they are doing their experiments and all of those. So if you want to play along with that and you want to have early access, join that. If you're having any sort of issues, just come back, change it back to live. So I'm going to go ahead and change mine to beta. That's it. But this is where you can actually come in here and make a few other adjustments if you would like to. So you can see you've got load type. You can come here and change your print and cut page size. So this is automatically set to go to 8.5 by 11. But once we do this update, we're going to have more options than that. So you can see you can change your notifications, all those things right here inside of settings. But we just simply want to change this over to beta, and then we're going to hit done. Now you're going to notice that it is re-downloading. It's sending all of those things. That way we have the good new information sent to our Cricut Design Space. Once the download is complete, your Cricut Design Space should automatically reload on its own. And once it does, you're going to have the new feature. So what we're going to be able to do is go to uploads and bring in our design. So we're going to head right here to upload. We're going to click on that. From here, we're going to simply go to upload an image, and then I'm going to go to browse and find my folder I just downloaded, which is right here. And then I'm simply going to go ahead and grab that beach babe, and then we're going to click open. So from here, I'm going to hit complex. If you get this option, you want to go ahead and hit complex. You could get rid of any pieces that you would like. Everything looks good to me, so I'm going to go ahead and hit apply and continue. From here, we want to go ahead and choose print then cut image, and then we're going to click upload. Now that we've uploaded our design, we're just simply going to click on it and click add to canvas. From here, you're going to see that our image has came in quite large, and we're getting the warning. So if you guys are familiar with Print Then Cut, you're going to get a little warning over here, this little red icon. I've talked about it in the past if you guys are not new here. Now, whenever you click on that icon, you're going to get just a little bit different information as well as a couple different options. So one thing is it's telling us that we have it automatically set at an 8.5 by 11, the letter paper here, and it's telling us for our size. So before it would tell you the max that you could do was 6.75 by 9.25, but now it can detect the shape that you have and tell you the max size for that shape. Now the really cool thing is before we would have to come over here and play around with it until we found that exact dimensions. Now all you simply have to do is come right here where it says auto resize image. If you click on that, it's going to automatically resize it for us. No more sitting here fussing and trying, especially if it was something that's not an even shape like a circle. Maybe you have a rectangle or something. You wouldn't have to go in there and try to figure out those dimensions. It will automatically give you the biggest that you can do, and that's what we have for that shape. Now, for me, that's not what I want. I want to change my page size. So we want to go ahead and stretch this guy again because I want that warning back. So we're going to go back in here to that warning. And the other option that you're going to get is change page size. So if we're here, we can come where it says Print Then Cut size. We're going to change that to the 11 by 17 because today I'm using my Sawgrass SG1000, so I can actually print on 11 by 17, which is a tabloid. Now the biggest that you can do right now with Print Then Cut is an A3, so you can do 11.7 by 16.5. So that's the biggest. So if that's the size you're doing, you can choose that, but you can even see now you can do 8.5 by 14 on all of those things. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the 11 by 17, the tabloid. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit done. Now that we've done that, we can simply go back up here. And now you're going to see our options different because it's actually set to the 11 by 17 tabloid. It's going to tell us the biggest for this shape is that 9.94 by 9.94. Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to click auto resize to save ourselves some time. So I'm really excited about this, and it's perfect. So it's perfectly ready to go. It's going to take that guesswork out for us, and we can do bigger projects. So for this, I can still cut this on my 12 by 12. If I was going to be doing bigger projects, I could be working with a rectangle, for example. I could use my bigger 12 by 24 mat. Now let me show you one more feature before we actually cut this out that Cricut recently released. Now this is not in beta mode, so if you guys still have it in live mode and you have no intentions to go into beta mode, you're going to wait for this to actually be released. This is something else that they recently did, and I want to show you. Before, to change the dimensions of this and not keep it absolutely perfect, whether you guys are working with a rectangle or whatever it is, we would actually come up here and unlock it. Not anymore. So what you have is, you see now we have this arrow on the side. Before, we only had this one as well as the rotate. But now you're going to notice it on the side. So if I go ahead and stretch this out, I no longer have to unlock it. They're allowing us to do our own things. So if I come here, I can do all of those things. So I'm really excited. That's something that we actually use in like Canva, and now we have it right here inside of Cricut Design Space. So let's go ahead and jump right into this and make a really big Print Then Cut project. This guy is almost 10 by 10. I'm really excited about it, so let's go ahead and make it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head over and click Make It. So as you can see, we have our Print Then Cut page, and something that you're going to also notice different is it's very similar to the silhouette now. It doesn't have a complete black square around it, which is nice because we're not wasting ink, and it's going to read it so much faster, which makes sense because really it does only read around those corners. So total sense now. So you have these 4 corners, and you can see it's a bigger page here, and it's actually showing to use the 12 by 24 mat, which is what I'm actually going to go ahead and just do because that's what it's showing. If not, I would have to, because it does need the bigger page for the Print Then Cut. So it does make sense. I am going to need the bigger 12 by 24. But one thing I wanted to point out, I noticed in other tutorials, whenever people are showing this feature, which is in beta mode, it's actually cutting off. You guys see when I hover, you guys can see this red line right here. This is your cut area. So just because we have this black border here, you can see that it's actually coming in, which is the exact same way that the silhouette works. And so it's actually gonna cut right on the sides of that circle. So we need to go back and adjust, but this is why it's still in beta. I imagine when it comes out of beta, it is not gonna allow us to size out further than what we can actually cut. So be careful with that and be mindful. So let's go ahead and hit cancel and just adjust it a tiny bit. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm actually gonna go over here and I'm gonna go ahead and just do like 9.85. So I've just adjusted it very minute, and so let's go back to Make It and look at it one more time. Looking at this, I think it looks really good. So I can tell it's not cutting into my colors from what I can see so far. If it does cut after the fact, we'll go back and we'll adjust again, but it's something that I want you guys to keep in mind when you go to make your projects. I don't want you guys to waste any material. Something else I want you to keep in mind when you're working with a sublimation project, for example, this needs to be mirrored. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn that mirror on. So that way, whenever it sends it over to be printed, because it has to print mirrored, and I bring it back here, it's not going going to try to cut it in the wrong direction with the shape, which this is a circle, so it would cut a circle. But if you had something that had different shapes around letters or something, it is something to be mindful for. So whenever we go to print this, I'll actually turn the mirror feature off for the printer because I've already done it here. So make sure that you get that mirrored here and not over at your printer. Now we're gonna go ahead and hit continue. We're gonna hit send to printer. And so you can see here it's saying Canon, it's fine. I don't need to choose that it's a Sawgrass yet because right now I'm just saving this file to my computer. So if you're using something like a sublimation printer, you wanna make sure that you save it as a PDF to your computer and then send it over to your printer. Unless you're using something like an Epson, you should be able to just print right here. But if you're using a Sawgrass, it's something to be mindful for. Now, if you were just doing a print then cut with a printable HTV that you can use your inkjet printer, then definitely feel free to choose that printer. But I'm just gonna leave it here because once again, it doesn't matter, I'm just saving it as a PDF. You wanna turn off your bleed line, but you wanna turn on the use system dialog. So this is very important when it comes to using a printer outside of right here inside of Cricut Design Space. We're gonna turn on that use system dialog and we're gonna hit print. From here, we're gonna go ahead and go right down here where it shows PDF. We're gonna select that and then we're just going to rename it. So I'm just gonna put in beach and I'm gonna save it to my desktop and hit save. Now that we're on our desktop, you're simply just gonna go ahead and find your file. Maybe you saved yours to a folder, just find your file. And I'm going to drag and drop it into my Sawgrass Smart folder, and that's automatically going to open our print manager. We've got our print manager open. I'm gonna turn mirror off. For today's material, I'm actually going to be printing this on glitter HTV and we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna do this baby blue one, so I wanna show you guys here really quickly. We haven't really sublimated on any colored glitter HTV. This is a really light baby blue and I think it's gonna look gorgeous. So we're gonna try it out today. So what you wanna choose here is just polyester and you're gonna be good to go. So we turn mirror off because we've already done that and we're gonna go ahead and hit print. While this is getting ready to print, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my Cricut Easy Press. I'm gonna do 400 degrees for 50 seconds today. I've done it 375 for 60 seconds, I believe. I've done that before, but I really want those colors to come through. So I'm gonna try 400 degrees for 50 seconds. Once again, I'm going to be using my 12 by 24 for this project because I wasn't thinking before. I'm still printing on the 11 by 17, so it's got those print borders. So I'll definitely still have to do this. So we've got that. And so I'm just gonna get it lined up and wait for our print. All right, so we've got it printed. And this is my first time playing around with it, so I'm trying to figure it out. Let's see how far down these print lines go. So they would still fit on a 12 by 12 mat. That's something we'll have to play around with later because I don't know if, even if we trimmed off this paper, if the machine's still gonna wanna search for that 12 by 24. So that's something we're gonna have to play around with and figure out. All right, so here we go. We've got our print ready to load on the mat. We're just going to get this guy down and make sure we line it up the same way that it's lined up that you can see inside of Cricut Design Space. We're gonna go right here to browse all materials and I'm just gonna type in copy, enter, and I'm going to choose copy paper and then we're going to hit done. Now, one thing about your print then cut for your sublimation, you definitely do not have to have your Cricut cut it out. All you have to do is fussy cut around this and you're gonna be good to go. But if you have something that has a lot of little shapes and movement to it, where you wanna perfectly line that up with your material, you may wanna consider using your Cricut. But today, I wanna show you how it works, so we're doing it. So we are gonna go ahead and load this. And when you use sublimation paper, you also wanna consider using a blue mat because it's less sticky. So we're gonna hit that load button and let Cricut load that in and get ready to cut it out. I'm so excited for this. You guys let me know in the comments below, have you already tested this out? Have you already seen other tutorials? Or is this the first time that you're learning of this? I am so excited. When I seen it the other day, I was like, no way, we're heading over there, we're doing this. All right, so we're ready. We're gonna go ahead and hit that go button. I've been waiting for this for so long and I knew Cricut could obviously do it, but I'm like, where is it at? So I'm not too sure the exact release date of this. It, once again, is still in beta mode, so there could be issues or hiccups. But as you see, once again, the offset feature has been in beta mode for quite some time, so it could definitely still be there for a little bit, but if you want early access, head on over to beta mode. You definitely could switch back and forth. You could go back to the live. It does warn you that you could lose some information, but I definitely did not lose anything. All right, so as you can see, it's just reading those 4 corners. You're saving that black ink that you were wasting before with the entire square, and it definitely seems to be reading it just a little bit faster, but that definitely could just be me. And our Cricut Easy Press is ready to go. This guy should be super quick because it is just a circle. I don't know what the heck just happened. You guys can see that going down, but I'm pretty sure it was completely clear. But this could be beta mode, okay? So what happened was, it was literally like tiny little dots, which we'll see when we unload this. So be very careful. And it doesn't appear to have had cut through it. Is that more of like where it's reading it? I don't think so. So there's a tiny little cut there. I need to go back and look at my design just to make sure that there was nothing, which we could look at here in a second, but usually Print Then Cut, there is nothing. So we're gonna find that out because we're fixing to get a circle anyways, but there is like a couple little cuts, but it's not gonna affect anything because it's Print Then Cut. Even if I was using a, say, printable HTV, it still would not affect it. You can't see these little cuts, so that doesn't bother me, but that's probably why it's still in beta mode, just to warn you guys. But there we have it, perfectly cut out. I literally thought that I was gonna have to do this again. I thought maybe I messed up and didn't choose something, but I'm pretty sure it's just part of that beta mode. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and hit done. I want to go back in here. You could definitely do these at the same time and have one cut out and then be ready for the next. But what we're going to do now is I'm just going to select this and I'm going to come up here from a Print Then Cut to a basic cut, so I don't have to go in there and find anything else. So it definitely does have these little cut lines. So all I have to do is go in there, hit contour, and then hit hide all contours, and then hit exit. Now what we're gonna do is just go back over here to make it. We're gonna choose on the mat and confirm. Now this time we are doing the glitter HTV. Since this is a circle, I'm not even gonna mess with the mirror. I'm just gonna leave it alone and we are ready to cut it out. We're gonna hit continue. For our next material, I'm gonna choose glitter iron on, and we are ready to go. So let's go ahead and get that prepped up. For today's material, this is Caesar's glitter. Absolutely love Caesar, you guys know that. So this is their glitter. It's a light baby blue, so I really think it's still gonna pop off of here. But keep in mind, if you have any sort of white in your design, because obviously there's no sublimation ink, but this is going to peek through. So all of that white space is gonna be blue, but I thought since it is beach and there's blue waves there, it's just gonna continue on. So be mindful if you have some blues already there, if they're gonna blend together and be too much if you're using a color. Like if I was using a light pink, I've already got pink in this design. It's just something to be mindful for. If I was to use white glitter, it would still come through as white. So that's just something to keep in mind. So let's go ahead and trim this guy down. For this, I'm just gonna trim it to 11 by 11. So I'm gonna get it in here and trim. And I'll probably actually even just leave the 12. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. When it comes to using glitter HTV, I like to use my green mat over my blue one because it has a stronger grip. With this, it's so thick. One thing that I've noticed is it tries to come up off the mat. So there's 2 things I do. I use my green mat. I'm gonna start my corner there, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and smooth that out. Perfect. So what I like to do sometimes is go in here with not a super sticky tape, and then I will get some tape on here so I get the top and the bottom, just to kind of help hold this in place. Because I have found when it comes to the thicker materials like this, they can shift, and I absolutely hate when I'm cutting something out. Sometimes I even use the purple, and even with the purple, I still tape it down. But I absolutely hate when I'm cutting something out and it goes and then it shifts on here and I've lost an entire sheet. Especially the glitter HTV is a little bit more expensive than just your everyday iron on. But just simply adding some pieces at the top and the bottom, you could do the sides if you want to, but I try to avoid that if I can because of where the wheels go. But you just need a little bit of that at the top here, just to kind of hold that material in place. So we're ready. So we're gonna go ahead and load that under the white feet. We are ready to hit go. So we're gonna let this cut out. While that is cutting out, let's go ahead and prep up and get ready for a t-shirt. We're gonna be using our Cricut pad, our 10 by 12 Cricut Easy Press, which I've already set, like I said, 400 degrees for 50 seconds. I have this really fun, once again, it goes with this design. We're ready for summertime, spring break. This is a really cute tie-dye, but it's lighter colored tie-dye. You could definitely make your very own tie-dye super cheap, or you can already purchase these tie-dyed. I'll link them down below. These are from Color Tone, and I buy all of my shirts over on clothingshoponline.com. I'll link it down below. I've been using them for years. I really love how fast they are. Another place is Jiffy. I'm not sure if they carry these ones, but I will have these linked below. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this t-shirt ready. All right, so now that I've got our t-shirt here ready to go, let's go ahead and unload this. We're gonna flip it over off of the mat, and we did. All right, I'm gonna get these out of the way. There we go. And we're gonna get this out of our way. Weeding a circle has gotta be the easiest thing to weed. So we're just simply gonna pull off our outside layer. All right. Just like so. And I'm really excited to see how this blue will come through. Now that we have that weeded out, I'm gonna go ahead and set that guy out of our way, and let's pull out any sort of moisture and just smooth down our t-shirt. So I'm just gonna go over the entire front area where this design is gonna go. So we're gonna do that. And to find the middle of your t-shirt, it's right here with your neck tag. If you need to, something that you could do is fold your t-shirt in half. You just want to make sure it's perfectly folded in half. All right, I'm gonna do it like on the back side and then have the front forward just to get that nice crease. So I'm just making sure this guy is nice and in half. So what we're gonna do now is I'm just gonna scoot this guy up here. I'm gonna put my easy press here, giving it some pressure right there where I folded it. And that is now going to give me a crease line right down the middle. So if you guys are new to making t-shirts with HTV, that's just another little tip from me. First thing we need to do is tack down our glitter HTV. Now what's really cool about glitter HTV is it can handle more of a high heat than just HTV. So it can handle that 400 degrees without a problem. This is pretty thick for that adhesive. So what we want to do is just do around a 2 to 5 second tack down. So that way we don't overheat this because we're going to be pressing with the sublimation. Now if you want to find that center of your circle to line it up with your crease mark, you're just going to fold it, get yourself a little pinch there, and then just line that up like so. I'm gonna come down around 3 fingers or so, just making sure everything looks nice and even, looks good. Get that down. So let's go ahead and tack it down. So we're gonna go right on top. We're gonna hit go for, just like I said, around 2 to 5 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and do 5 seconds, stop. You may want to let this cool down just a little bit because it's definitely not ready to just rip up. You can always kind of test that. And if it's kind of going, just be nice and slow because this thing is not fully committed. There we have it. Perfect. Now we're going to simply need our sublimation design as well as some heat tape and a parchment paper, butcher paper, copy paper, something to protect your heat press in case any sort of inks are going to bleed through. Same thing as I've done before. I'm going to fold this design in the right, straight up in the right direction, fold it so I can figure out my center. So that way whenever I'm lining this up, I don't accidentally kind of line it like this. I know the top of my design, so now I'm just kind of lining up my circle here. And that's what's nice about cutting it out. So the thing about tacking down too, you're not going to shrink your HTV, so this is going to perfectly fit on here. And then now we're just going to take a couple pieces of tape. I'm double checking that that is straight up. I'm going to take one tape at the top, and we're going to take us a tape at the bottom. We're going to take us our parchment paper right on top, and we are ready to go. So we're just going to go right here, and we're going to hit go. 400 degrees for 50 seconds. I'm so excited for this. Like I said, you guys let me know, what is the very first bigger print and cut project are you gonna do? Is it simply with cardstock? Are you doing printable, big cutouts for birthday parties? Maybe you're gonna be doing printable vinyl and stickers. You tell me, what are you making with your bigger print and cut projects? We are down to our very last second here. Perfect. I'm gonna carefully slide this up and out of the way. Remove my parchment paper. Here's for the big reveal. I'm gonna take my weeding tool here just to get me a corner started, and we're gonna peel. I love it. Oh my gosh, that came out so good. Like I said, with the blue, because that baby blue is gonna come in as that white, it perfectly went with my waves as if it was just part of the design. So you can also see with the white, we had the rays coming out of that sun area, as well as the knockout around the design. But I love it. I think this came out so cute, and it's perfectly matching with this tie-dye. I'm so pumped for this. I'm like, you guys let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? And look, we no longer have to be limited to that tiny little design. Look at that circle. That is almost a 10 by 10 circle. It is so perfect. I love how it looks on the glitter here, and with the tie-dye, everything just looks gorgeous. Now, once again, keep in mind, if you guys want to do the same hack on the white glitter, obviously the design is going to stay 100% true to itself, but today I have not tested it out on colors. I really wanted to see how that would pop on that baby blue, and it definitely did. So if you guys would have preferred the white or you like the baby blue, let me know in the comments below, because I definitely want to know your thoughts. I'm going to bring this up here as usual. I really think it comes in better, so hopefully you guys can see this here. Now you have that really pretty sublimation design along with that sparkle. So imagine this out in the sun with that sparkle with a pair of shorts or leggings. This would be so, so cute. I cannot wait to rock this. Like I said, I'm definitely spring break ready, so I'm gonna start gearing up. So if you guys are ready for that too, show me your hands down below. That was so much fun. I really enjoyed that, and I cannot wait. If you guys wanna see more bigger print and cut projects, let me know down below as well. What do you wanna see next? Do we want to see some print and cut cardstock stuff? Do we want to see some Caesar Easy Subly stuff? Let me know, because Caesar Easy Subly used to make some 11 by 17. I'm gonna be on a mission to see if we can find some, or even some printable HTV to see if we can find some of that to do that as well. So many different ideas, bigger stickers. I cannot wait. So let me know in the comments below, what do you want to see next for that bigger print and cut feature? And also, are you excited about not having to unlock and being able to spread out that design? I'm really excited about that one as well. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you did, please make sure you guys hit that like button down below. And if you guys are new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you guys don't miss any of our crafting tutorials.